Thank you. Thank you. You're also kind. You're also kind. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, royalty has just entered the room. We are so here. Ladies and gentlemen, what's goody? It's your boy, So Co. You can also call me OSK. Either is going to convey the same way. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back. We are right around the corner from King of the Ring being crowned at this here event in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. I hope I'm saying the name of the city right. But at Night of Champions, we will be crowned a new king and queen of the ring. So, since it is that season, I figure why not get back to the tier list. That's exactly right. Today we are doing another tier ranking, but today we ain't doing the month of May, the month of June, the summer, winter, spring, fall. We ain't doing the best PLE or this, that, and the third. Nah. Today we are ranking every single King of the Ring winner and Queen of the Ring. Nonetheless, I'm excited about this one. I have talked about this very, very early into the channel. Did not think we'd be here this soon. So I'm very grateful to get to dive into this. I'm going to actually go over from the oldest or the first winner of the King of the Ring tournament all the way to the most recent one, that being from Don Muraco all the way to Gunther, of course. And we've had one Queen of the Ring winner as well in the midst of that, so we will discuss that. I'll try to go over briefly the event itself, at least the match, you know what I'm saying? Now, some of these earlier matches I'm not too familiar with. Don Muraco specifically, not gonna give any commentary about that match if you want to go back and watch it, if it was available. So I will try to mostly emphasize the career thereafter, because in my personal opinion, I feel like the King of the Ring and Queen of the Ring is assigned to competitors that WWE sees fit to take the helm as the best wrestler, of course, and also just give them a push. So, like I said, we'll go through each of these. Let me know in the comments down below where I got it wrong. We're going to rank them S through F as a tier maker usually does. But before we begin, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Leave some suggestions down below of what you want to see us do next for tier rankings. But without further ado, there's too much rambling. And I said without further ado 22 too many times. Let's get into it. Like I said, from the oldest to the newest, we'll go ahead and start this one off with Don Muraco. And Don Muraco won King of the Ring in 1985, defeating the Iron Sheik. Now, I'm going to keep it real with y'all. The only knowledge I have of Don Muraco success-wise is that he's not a former WWE champion, okay? So let's start there. Now, I know you're probably like, well, why I throw that in there? It's definitely important to note, like, a lot of these names are notable and went on to win championships, at least, you know, world championships. So Don Muraco is not on that list. He also was the first one. You know, they didn't do a lot of presentation with him as far as being the King of the Ring. There wasn't really the gimmick at that time. He beat the Iron Sheik, you know, WWE champion in itself. So that's a huge W, of course. But ultimately, the only thing I really have for Don Muraco is that he was the first. So he technically paved the way for the rest of the King of the Rings to come along. So with that being said, and just being very mindful, very demure of that. Wow, does anybody even say demure anymore? Doesn't matter. I'm gonna go ahead and put him slot in the middle. I may move him up just because of the historical significance, but since there wasn't a ton to go off of with him after the win, and also, you know, it wasn't like we look back on Don Muraco as this great King of the Ring himself, you know, I'm gonna put him at C for now because of the name itself, or, you know, at least the win. But we'll put him there. Number 2, Harley Race. Now, Harley Race is a name that I'm very familiar with, because Harley Race not only was a notable U.S. champion, he is also a very notable King of the Ring. He was the first person to take the gimmick of King of the Ring, turn into something. He beat Pedro Morales to become the first King of the Ring, which, again, another former WWE champion. So a huge W there. Like Don Muraco, he didn't go on to win a world championship after his win, but what he did with King of the Ring itself, I would say, is above that of God. Don, relax, bro.
Yeah, hello. It's Future OSK here. You know, I'm doing the edits to the video right now, and notice that I looked up after I mentioned Don Muraco. Don't know why I did that. Don Muraco is still with us. Okay, so there was no need for me to look up. Don't want to scare anybody. So Don, again, I apologize. But yeah, you didn't have to cough at me. Yeah.
Harley Race took the gimmick, turned into a thing, you know, King Harley Race. I mean, just even looking at this picture, right? Like, this man had on the whole crown, robe. I don't know what you would call the piece here, but nonetheless, I think Harley Race is deserving of a B. He was the first real King of the Ring, in my opinion, presentation-wise. And, you know, he was always renowned as a great worker, so I think it was also deserved. You know, he was definitely more than likely at that time the actual King of the Ring as far as in-ring work. So we'll give him that. I guess I should have gave out the day he won it on July 14th, 1986. Up next, here's a name we're familiar with, even some more casual fans. Macho Man Randy Savage. He also went by Macho King Randy Savage, if you remember. Now, also a well-renowned worker. The only dud here is that he beat King Kong Bundy to win this, but Randy Savage was going to be a multiple-time WWE champion after this win. And it's worth noting, too, that he also took the King of the Ring gimmick seriously, even, like I said, renaming himself to Macho King Randy Savage. So a really good presentation there. Amazing worker. Like, I really have nothing bad to say about Macho. It's funny because I'm almost tempted to put him at S tier because of the career he had following his King of the Ring, and I think I am going to. Macho Man Randy Savage is a legend. There's stories, of course, not stories, but there's speculation that if there was no Hulk Hogan, Randy Savage would have fit right in as the face of professional wrestling in WWE. Like, that is the name that he had. You know what I'm saying? The Slim Jim sponsorships. Like, this man's persona was bigger than wrestling itself. He was up there with Hogan. His name rang bells. He's a great worker. I think he was well deserving of it. One of the earliest people to, again, put on their presentation. We're talking about Macho Man Randy Savage here, bro. I would say he paved the way for the future of this, accomplishment. And now I know you're probably like, well, how did Harley Race just get a B tier and Macho got S tier, even though they both essentially did the same thing gimmick-wise? True, but the accolades that follow Macho, far superior than that of Harley Race after his win. So I'm gonna put him at S tier for now. Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man, all right? So, Ted DiBiase, he defeated Randy Savage to win his the next year, in 1988. Ted DiBiase, he had one of those careers where he was always in the upper to mid card, but he never did, accomplished anything like insane. Well, let me take a step back. Ted DiBiase is a renowned superstar. He has a lot of accomplishments. He just never had a world championship, a real world championship. You know, he did buy the championship off of Andre the Giant, but nonetheless, it's definitely difficult. I couldn't even find a ton about him winning the event, as far as outside of the match. There was no gimmick associated with it, and there wasn't a ton of action for him after the run. He started to slowly fizzle out as the 90s formed and everything. So Ted DiBiase, I'm gonna be honest with you, as bad as I want to give him C for name, Ted DiBiase didn't do a lot with King of the Ring. He just didn't. And so just giving that had to constitute a D, unfortunately. I really didn't want to, but just looking back at the past, of course he had the match with Randy Savage, which set that off, but I think, I don't know, man. Maybe I'll move him up to C only because I can't differentiate him too much from Don Muraco, besides Don was the first one to win. But if we're doing this in order, Don is still going to be ahead of him because he was the first winner. But in a time where we're really emphasizing the King of the Ring itself with Harley Race and Randy Savage, it's difficult to say that Ted DiBiase had that same flair. Up next, however, Tito Santana, a name that I have not said on this channel. I basically haven't said any of these guys' names on the channel, but Tito Santana is one of those names I didn't expect to be saying. He won the event in 1989, defeating Rick Martel. Now, Tito Santana, just like Ted DiBiase, did not go on to do much after the King of the Ring. I would go as far to say the complete opposite happened. Tito Santana was not heard of too much after his King of the Ring win. He, definitely had a name for himself in the 80s, but it just seems as if the King of the Ring maybe regressed him a bit. He had the win, of course, over Rick Martel, which in itself, is looking at the name power of the 80s and the 90s. Not saying Rick Martel didn't have a name, but it just seems like there could have been a more impactful final there. Regardless, I say all that to say, I can't keep giving everybody C. I'm gonna have to put Tito at D. Put Tito at D. Maybe if they put the crown on him, maybe they put the robe on him, gave him the staff. We'd be looking at it a little differently, but I'm sorry. Bret Hart, back to back. Not back-to-back years. He won 91, then 93. They skipped 92. But his first year, he beat IRS or Urban R. Shyster. And then his second win, he beat Bam Bam Bigelow. Bret Hart is a two-time King of the Ring winner. And if I'm not mistaken, he's the only two-time King of the Ring winner. Bret Hart, we know who Bret Hart is. Okay, need I say more? He went on to be a multiple-time champion here. He won and win Royal Rumbles, Intercontinental Championships, went and put on Match of the Year contenders against multiple people such as Shawn Michaels, Stone Cold Steve Austin, his brother Owen Hart, etc. Like, Bret Hart is on my Mount Rushmore of wrestlers. He is that guy. He even went on the WCW, put in work. I would say he is the sheer emphasis of what this tournament is supposed to do for someone. Boosted stock, got plenty of wins from it, plenty of championships from it, was an actually, in-ring worker or a good in-ring worker. And he won it twice. They trusted that man. Bret Hart thus far is going at the top of S tier. He is going to be, so far, the number one King of the Ring winner per the ranking, and I'm very confident in that. So shout out to Bret Hart. Owen Hart. All right. Owen Hart won it in 94, following Bret Hart's win, beating Razor Ramon in the finals. Now, Owen Hart took the gimmick, and I would say did it better than Bret, of course. He was the heel, and so I love the heel King of the Ring. I really do, because it's like he's very conceited, but also, he's like, bro, I'm the best wrestler, you know what I'm saying? But Owen Hart was really a good wrestler. These air quotes weren't to disrespect him by any means. Owen Hart, like his brother, was very talented. The only difference, of course, and it's unfortunate, is that Owen Hart did not receive the same success off the back end of his win. He still had the single success, and he has a couple tag runs here and there, but ultimately he was not able to capture the big goal, which is playing a bit of a part here for me. However, I will acknowledge that Owen Hart was putting on banger after banger after banger after his win, and I am confident in saying, I think I can put him at A. Yeah, I'll put him at A. I think that's fair. Owen Hart, you get the A tier because you were an amazing competitor and you did the gimmick very well. So shout out to you. Mabel. King Mabel, man. Viscera. Big Daddy V. But at this point, it was just Mabel. Mabel injured Diesel at their SummerSlam match following his King of the Ring win. His presentation as a king was not the best. He was not a good worker, and he did not have any sort of success after this. Big Daddy V, Viscera, Mabel didn't even capture the ECW title in the rebrand. Yo, dare I say F? Dare I say F? I'm sorry. He didn't do anything with it. If anything, it was a disaster. 95 wasn't the best year for wrestling. He beat Savio Vega in the final. I don't know. Stone Cold Steve Austin. Because Austin 316 says, I just whipped your ass. I don't even use profanity on the channel. I refrain from it because I don't want to. But you feel me? Like the most iconic promo ever during that time, right? Catapulted him to the main event immediately. He beats Jake Roberts in the finals, goes on to win the Royal Rumble the following year, has the match of the year, 5-star match against Bret Hart. Following that, he wins another Royal Rumble, goes on to dethrone Shawn Michaels, who was another talented, great wrestler at the time, goes to a promo with Vince McMahon, one of the most iconic, if not the most iconic rivalry in all of wrestling, goes on to win another Royal Rumble in 2001, turn heel, join the Invasion, take over WCW, goes on, puts on another banger of a match to end his career against The Rock.
Y'all not hearing him. Y'all not hearing him. Ugh.
Definition of King of the Ring. And he was a great worker. Come on. Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Triple H. Beat Mankind in the final, 97. Now, apparently he was supposed to win this in the year prior, but things happened. The curtain call. Now, 97, we're a couple years removed or ahead of him winning the WWE Championship for the first time. So, you know, he did have some success, but it's a couple years too early. The DX run was, of course, amazing. Not gonna knock that. Probably he wasn't the forefront of that. He went on to do great things, it just wasn't immediate. You know, so I will say, very good choice for King of the Ring. And of course, Triple H. We know Triple H. We know what he became. He's still running things. I'm gonna put him at A tier though. I don't think he has the same status as those ahead of him in S tier as far as like immediate impact. But Triple H did succeed after his King of the Ring win. And that's all you can take from it. That is the most important part. I'll put him at A tier. Ken Shamrock. Alright, bro. Ken Shamrock beat The Rock in the finals in 1998 to become King of the Ring. And it's rather crazy to think that The Rock was the one who benefited from this more than Ken Shamrock. We know The Rock. I'm not even going to go into the details about him. All right. Ken Shamrock was still a talented worker. His career in WWE wasn't much lengthier, you know, as far as success there after the win, but he still had a little bit left in the tank. It's difficult to gauge because WWE was in a weird place during that time as far as like building new stars. They had their top stars, and then like the lower and mid card was just kind of, I'm not gonna say put together, but it was just kind of like, you know what I'm saying? And Ken Shamrock was one of those. He was an amazing worker. I'm not saying he was mid, but it was like, So Ken Shamrock didn't do a ton with it. I think I gotta put him D. Realistically, because like he didn't do anything after it. You know what I'm saying? He was talented, but he just wasn't that guy for wrestling, for WWE. Billy Gunn. All right, so I've said multiple times on the channel that I started watching wrestling, like, going back to watch wrestling in 99, soon after my birth. So Billy Gunn was realistically the first King of the Ring I've ever seen. I'll get to in a moment. But rewatch wise, I would have seen everything leading up to this. Billy Gunn beat X-Pac in the finals of the tournament. Billy Gunn wasn't like as over as we think during this time. Like, he was a tag team guy. They attempted to push him a lot, like even through 2001. Like, Billy Gunn was getting these pushes. Like, Billy Gunn was a Final Four in the Rumble, mind you. But I just couldn't buy it. Now maybe that's with me knowing too what would happen with his career. It was just hard to buy into it. But I will say, Billy Gunn did have more success than the two beneath him. So I'm going to put him at C tier there. I think that's fair. I would say he's pretty much the emphasis of a mid-Rumble winner. He really is. Like, he kind of just stayed the same. Realistically, they attempted to push him and they just put him back in the mid card. So I'm gonna put him at C tier. Kurt Angle. And I'm making this face because oh man, I want to give a take. I do. I want to give a take so bad. Kurt Angle may be the greatest King of the Ring of all time, at least thus far. Because Kurt Angle won King of the Ring and then like just didn't turn back. Excuse me. Granted, Austin also won King of the Ring and didn't turn back. I'm not saying he didn't. Bret Hart won King of the Ring and didn't turn back. Randy Savage won King of the Ring and didn't turn back. Kurt Angle won that chip, the championship, same year. He hadn't even been in the company an entire calendar year at this point. Wins the chip, you know what I'm saying, defends the title on multiple occasions between then, and goes on to do even more. 2002, Kurt Angle was cracked. 03, Kurt Angle was cracked. 05, 06, all this good stuff. Like, bro, I don't know. I'm gonna put him above Bret, but I'm gonna still keep him below Austin because Austin is insane. Like, because when you think about where Kurt was leading up to King of the Ring, you know, he was still branded and promoted as like this up and comer, you know, this huge guy. Austin was like straight catapult, like it was over with. You know what I'm saying? Where Kurt Angle already had an upward trajectory at that point. So because of that, I respect it. I'll keep Austin at number 1, but Angle, number 2 for me. Edge. Now, I didn't just mention this a second ago. Kurt Angle beat Rikishi in the year 2000 to become King of the Ring. Edge, the following year, beat Kurt Angle to become the new King of the Ring. Kurt Angle almost went back to back. Crazy. But Edge, very similar to Triple H, did not feel the immediate effect of this win. And I would even go as far to say that the correlation between King of the Ring and Edge's single success is like almost null and void. Like it almost had no impact. However, he still did go on to have an impact. We have to acknowledge that. It is very difficult with him too, because like I said, he didn't have that immediate impact. And I wasn't as moved by it because it was in 2001. You know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like if maybe Edge won it in 02, it maybe would have hit a little differently, especially with the brand split and all that good stuff. But it was kind of weird seeing him win that, you know, being in the tag team with Christian and Christian like carrying around a trophy or all this other stuff. It was just weird. I'ma put Edge. I'll put Edge at. I'll put him below Owen. I know Owen, you know, I'm emphasizing like that single success after the fact, but Owen just did everything with King of the Ring so well. I had to boost him up. And Edge did have a prolific career, so I'm gonna go with that. Brock Lesnar, very similar to Kurt Angle. Immediate success. Won King of the Ring, went to SummerSlam and dethroned The Rock. Insane. And had a crazy run from that point all the way up until he walked out of the company. Then he had this significant gap, a very significant gap, a huge gap, I might add you, between 04 and 2012, and became a part-timer upon his return. 2012 and everything after that has nothing to do with King of the Ring at that point. It just throw out the window. So the impact that he felt from King of the Ring was strictly from 02 to 04, and it wasn't even full 2 years. Brock Lesnar had one of the most insane peaks of all time. Because of that, I am going to acknowledge that and give him A tier, top of A, because of what he went on to do. It just didn't last long. You know what I'm saying? And again, I'm just bringing this off of King of the Ring itself. It didn't have a gimmick with it. Didn't do much of it. Not even a ton of acknowledgement of it. Like, they acknowledged it a few months after. Then he was champion. And it was like, we ain't finna talk about him being King of the Ring. But I mean, it was worth it, I think. So, King Booker.
That's King Booker.
I think I said that right. Come on, man. Move. He did the gimmick so well. And he also captured a World Heavyweight Championship. I don't care about how long he was in the company after that. He felt the success of King of the Ring literally immediately and was the greatest King of the Ring the company ever saw. Bar none. When you talk about the gimmick and the success, it's there. King Booker, is the greatest King of the Ring of all time. And I'm keeping him there. Okay, argue with your mom. All right, I'm sorry.
William Regal.
William Regal was an interesting choice to win King of the Ring, especially this late in his career. I mean, I guess it wasn't this late in his career, but 8 years. Well, I guess it was more than 8 years, but 2008, you know, he defeats CM Punk of all people to become King of the Ring. He did the gimmick really well. I think the only thing about William Regal is that I'm not saying he got in trouble soon thereafter and was suspended and didn't get the push. And honestly, not much happened thereafter, even like once he returned. William Regal, I feel like, had a lot of potential to be up in here, like these top 3. But then we'll have to dock him a little bit. I'm gonna put him at C tier. I'm sorry. I put him above Billy Gunn though.
King Sheamus.
Okay, the gimmick King Sheamus wasn't the best. I'll admit that. He won it in 2010 by beating John Morrison. But it's Sheamus. And like what I mean by that is Sheamus still went on to be successful at this, become, you know, multiple time World Heavyweight Champion, had some great singles runs, tag team stuff. Like Sheamus was that guy after his win. It's just that the initial reception and gimmick wasn't the best. But kind of the opposite of Harley Race. He had success. I'm gonna put him at B tier. I think that's fair. You may have not liked it as far as the gimmick goes. Again, I understand. But the King of the Ring accomplished what it was supposed to. Even though he was already essentially established prior, he was still pretty young. So I won't dock him too much for that. It's not his fault.
King Barrett.
And Wade Barrett beat Neville. There was a 3-year gap here between, you know, Sheamus. Oh my goodness, it was 5. Goodness gracious. Wade Barrett. Okay. I don't think this was the best. He didn't really do anything after this, but like win the IC championship and join the League of Nations. Gotta say D tier. I'm sorry. Don't talk about me on commentary, okay? Please.
Baron Corbin.
Baron Corbin beat Chad Gable to become King of the Ring. I hated King Corbin, bro. Oh, this was a bad gimmick. It was a bad gimmick, and leading up to this, it was just Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. Seth Rollins versus Baron Corbin. I'm gonna be the GM, and then he wins King of the Ring, bro. I was so tired of this man, bro. I'm gonna put him at F tier. I'm sorry. I don't even want to talk. Move. I don't even want to talk about it much. I'm a little disgusted. To be honest with you. I ain't gonna say disgusted, that's a little harsh, but it's just like King Corbin, like if y'all were gonna do something with him, push him, then like actually give him something. He didn't. At this point, he's already had plenty of World Heavyweight or World Championship matches, Money in the Bank. Y'all did everything y'all could, and then y'all said our last hurrah was gonna be King of the Ring, and then he didn't do anything else. It went downhill. After King of the Ring, King Corbin, we got Bum Corbin. Think about that. I'm good.
Xavier Woods.
I mean, he had a match with Roman. And the gimmick was cool. It was. He gave him something to do. But he also didn't do anything. And it's unfortunate because he came in at a time, he beat Finn Balor for this. He came in at a time like, you know, we were going through what we were going through, or the tail end of it. And like, they could have did something with it. They could have. They could have. But I guess also, you know, Roman eventually had both titles held hostage, and it was like, we're gonna have King Woods dethrone him. I don't know. I hate that I gotta say this, bro, but I'm gonna have to put him. I put him at F tier. Oh, by the way, let me put this in order. I'm gonna put him at F tier. I'm sorry, King Woods. It's a cool gimmick, but nothing happened.
Our only King of the Ring thus far, Nia Jax.
Nia Jax. So here's the thing. That SummerSlam last year had one of the greatest moments for me as a fan. I like Nia Jax as far as a worker. When she stood up on the turnbuckle, did her taunt, and then, you know, did the goodness gracious, the bonsai drop onto Bayley to win the championship, bro, I popped. It was such a good moment. I was like, she deserves it. She gets picked on online. She gets bullied, all this stuff, bro. Give her the championship. She took home the gold that year. The same year that she won Queen of the Ring, the first ever Queen of the Ring. So, one, I'm giving her points for that. 2, she went on to win. Had some good rivalries, had some good matches. I'm going to keep it real, and y'all are going to get mad at this, bro. She got the name, and she has a success. I'm sorry. I'm putting her A tier. I'm putting her A tier. Depending on how the next 2 years go, she may move up or down, but you have to acknowledge her being the first one to win it and then going on to be successful from it. You get what I'm saying? So for that, I'm gonna give her A tier just by the logic of, you know, the criteria. And then last but not least, we have Gunther. As the making of this video, bro, Gunther is a 2-time world champion. Okay, I just want to point that out. Like, this was recorded literally after the Monday Night Raw episode of June 9th. And I have to say, bro, Gunther not only is the ring general, a proud king of the ring, a good choice of king of the ring, longest reigning intercontinental champion, but of course that was before this, went on to, as of now, be a 2-time world heavyweight championship this soon after the win. Like, he has not had the, he has not been, how do I put this? It has not been a year since the King of the Ring win, and he's already a 2-time champion. You know what I'm saying? Come on now. S tier. I'm sorry, he passed Brock. Alright, so look, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna go ahead and go through these before I end the video, make sure everything looks good to me, and I'll let you all know what we decide on. Just give me one moment. Alright, one change. Move Don Muraco up 1. Just simply because he was the first winner. I had to give him his props. And just given the criteria of everybody that was on the same tier as him, I just couldn't see it. It wasn't realistic for me to have Billy Gunn on the same tier as the guy who won the very first tournament. Everybody else I kind of kept the same, just given that, you know, they had the success that follows, like up here in S, or did absolutely nothing, just like down here in F. So that is the final tier list. There you have it. Please let me know where I got it wrong in the comments down below. Thank y'all so much for sitting here and listening to me yap and talk today. It's been an absolute pleasure. As always, don't let anyone discourage you from greatness. My name is Osoko,
And we are oh so out.